century. Cyprus is halfway across the world from Canada, and 50 years is a long time.
Well, primarily it was all part of a United Nations contribution, and Canada, of course, being so committed to peacekeeping missions, not only here but elsewhere in the troubled parts of the world. The commitment made by Canada has been quite substantial and consistent. We've had over 25,000 Canadian military personnel come through here from about 1964 to about 1993. We still have a presence here. And during that time, during the height of the conflict in the early 70s, we were also a country that sacrificed greatly. We lost 28 of our people here during the height of the conflict. So Canada's commitment really is a testimonial to how we as a nation value peace and the rule of law and ensuring that we do our job as we do consistently as members of the United Nations to participate in these very, very important missions. We need to have Cyprus free and democratic and able to define its own future. And we aspire to that. So for us, it's really nothing more, I suppose, although the sacrifices are different than what we have done in Afghanistan. And, this is what Canada, this is who we are.
You're here at a very exciting and quite hopeful time. There are ongoing negotiations for the settlement of the Cyprus issue. And Cyprus at this time, despite the financial crisis, has been discovering natural gas. So there is a renewed interest in this region. How do you view, in general, Cyprus's prospects, both for resettlement and also economically, given the fact that this area is becoming really important?
Well, from what I have been made aware of, certainly the future looks very bright for Cyprus. Obviously, we need to have a lasting peace where Cyprus does not need to be concerned about its own future and the safety of its own people and the supremacy over its own territory. That said, it appears that there are some very, very significant opportunities for Cyprus to exploit some of the natural resources that are available and obviously have been identified, all of which I think is very, very good news for the people of Cyprus in terms of quality of life, economic growth, and being able to better define its own future.
Canada is a major force, obviously, in energy. We haven't seen thus far an interest in energy, let's say, activities or prospects here in the region. Is Canada planning something like that in the future?
Well, with the agreement of the European Union, which was recently finalized, if you will, I think there will be, if you will, greater interest here. I know that Canadian industry and Canadian business and Canadian professionals are now looking at opportunities to expand. That's what these negotiations about agreements have been all about. More recently, we signed one with South Korea. So Canada is open for business, and Canada is willing to share its knowledge and its ability to not only benefit our own people who want to invest, but also countries where Canada can be a significant help. I might also add, too, that Canada is one of the leading countries in terms of international aid for countries where the economy is burgeoning, their economic difficulties. So I think you will find that there will be increased interest, and we hope that will be the case, actually, because it will be a win-win situation for both countries.
Mm-hmm. Canada has been described to us many times. I mean, the past few months we've been discovering energy, has been described as a model of energy development.
Well, indeed, and also dealing with extractives and those kinds of issues, Canada has a great deal of experience, no doubt. And it would be, I think, as I mentioned, a win-win situation for Canadian industry to partner with Cyprus interests to exploit some of those natural resources, so as we can all benefit from cooperation, collaboration, and sharing of opportunities.
We've been working on the federal model here in Cyprus. The basis of the settlement is a federation. I always wanted to know Canada's take on the federal model, because it's a massive country and that has managed to have both local and national coherence and harmony. There's no conflict. It's a working model. But every country is different, so we don't know how the federal model will work here in Cyprus. What's your experience on that?
Well, you know, we have a constitution which basically allows the different tiers of governance, if you will. And each level of government has its own very specific responsibilities. Once that's defined, once the rules of engagement are defined, it's just a matter of people making it work. And, you know, I'm not saying that our system is better than any other system, but for us, it's a system that works. It's a system that is very respectful of the different levels of governance and accountabilities. And the model, from my point of view, is one that allows local government to deal with issues at the very local level, where citizens actually touch the very quality of life that they are able to enjoy at that level. And, you know, as you elevate that, the provinces and the territories have their own responsibilities, and the overall federal responsibilities fall to the federal government, of course, wherein you have this ability to do things across provinces, across all jurisdictions, on matters that are more global in terms of the laws of the country, the revenue streams, the taxation, all those kinds of issues. And from that also flows a cascading support to the provinces and the territories, and eventually down to the local municipalities. So it's a great model, I think.